And I'm always trying to get more reading in because it makes me feel so smart. So I'm listening to a lot of titles right now, and I'm doing that with Audible.
I am about to embark on a journey with the audio title The Plot by Jean Hanff Korelitz, and I'm really excited that Audible is there to help me.
As an Audible member, you can choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. There are thousands of titles. Try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500. That's audible.com/crappens or text crappens to 500-500.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Emily, and we're the hosts of Terribly Famous, a new podcast from Wondery.
From Adele to Victoria Beckham and Lily Allen, we take you inside the drama-filled lives of our most talked-about celebrities to find out what it's like to walk in their shoes.
She means their beautiful Prada shoes.
Listen to Terribly Famous wherever you get your podcasts.
Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Crappens. 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 Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens? Watch what crappens, watch what crappens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that crappens?
Hello and welcome to Watch Our Crappens, a podcast about all that crap on Bravo that we just love to talk about. I'm Ben Mandelker, and joining me today is the wonderful and glorious Ronnie Karam. Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
Well, hello, my little balloons. What you doing, sweet guy?
I am just here, ready to talk about episode 2 of the week of Below Deck Down Under. Can't wait to get into it. If you missed the first one, it's on our feed. Go subscribe to us. You should go subscribe, and you don't have to then wonder where the other episode is. Also, we had such a tremendously fun time doing Crappy Hour this week. That's our every 2-week show. Is that bi-weekly? I think that's bi-weekly.
It's bi-weekly. I don't want to label a week.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want. You just tell me what you want to be called. Week.
Yeah. But that's our show on Instagram Live. And we had a really fun time thanks to the many people who showed up for it. We spent the first 30 or 40 minutes talking about the Bethany and Rachel interview. And so Ronnie is going to put that up on our feed. He's going to work on it, try to make it sound better. He's going to do his magic, his Ronnie Karam magic.
That's a huge maybe.
Huge maybe.
If it sounds like absolute shit. So
if it sounds like shit, then it won't go up. I'm sorry. Did I just overpromise to the audience? I'm so sorry,
I just
Ronnie.
got tired. I was like, whoa.
Okay. It has no guarantee that it's going to be going up on the podcast feed, but if you go to our Instagram, it is there. So for people who've been wanting to hear us weigh in on the whole Bethany thing, go check that out there because we weigh in for a very long time. So go check that out. And we're also on video as usual. These videos, you can watch them on patreon.com/watchourcrappens. You get to watch them there for a week before they go to YouTube. So that's all the good stuff. And of course, we also have our bonus episodes. Last week, we recapped the penultimate episode of Crappy Lake. And then this week, we are doing Southern Charm trailer breakdown. So come join us for that. And now today, we are back in the wonderful world of Australia, where I am, by the way, in case people are wondering, I'm broadcasting from a coral reef today. So if you're watching and you're wondering what all the fish are behind me, yeah, I'm underwater.
That's it.
I'm like Sebastian.
He's underwater, you guys. We have found Nemo.
Yeah. So the previous episode of Below Deck Down Under ended with Adam, who spends almost all of his time grumbling about people not doing their jobs, Adam not putting out a fender, and the boat getting scraped to holy hell as it comes into the dock. So
after ignoring the railings too, whose fault were the railing things? When the captain was like, that was Culver's fault.
Was that Culver's fault? I thought that
was
may have been
Culver's
Adam's
fault because
fault.
he was controlling the.
Oh
no!
I thought there was the ladder.
There was a swim ladder, which I think was Adam's fault. Then there was the railings that got knocked off by the tender, which was Culver's fault.
Yeah, but Adam.
So I think
caused
that's two for Adam, right?
Yeah, Adam. The ladder was definitely Adam, and also Adam did not clean up the broken glass underneath the table. So that's really 3 for Adam.
That's 3 strikes. You're lucky this ain't ball, bitch. You're
You're
lucky
lucky.
this ain't ball.
Yeah, man. So basically the boat crashes into the dock, more or less. It's a light crash, but it's a crash all the same.
It's a squeak crash, but also they do the thing where they give us that one shot before they do the previouslys, which, you know, is my favorite thing. I love, like, the still, no music, just a still. Well, I shouldn't say still. Sound-wise, it's still. But we get a shot of a different fish every time. This time, it is the glorious 5-head fish, the gigantic 4-headed fish. And this time they really leaned into it because they've been doing this thing with the giant 4-head fish where it's like, "Do-de-do, hi, I'm just 5-head fish, just smiling," you know, like this goofy kind of personality. And this time they're like, you know what, we owe 5-head more because people online are calling him 5-head. So let's give it more. And this time they showed 5-head looking fabulous. I mean, they showed a different angle where he was like swinging his like gorgeous dress around, like, and I was like, yes, I wanted this moment for you, 5-head, and you got it. You go, bitch.
Yeah, it's about time 5-head got their moment in the sun.
Yeah.
Very happy for that fish.
You're finally getting a head big enough, you know, to live in.
Well, we've watched 5-head go from being a bumbling waiter to then becoming a star of fish cinema. So now 5-head is like found his groove.
Yep, 5-head's killing it. Girl, you look great. And thank you for the producers for doing that. You know, This is like an episode about giving back, not only to the coral reef, but to fish like 5-head who do the tough work.
They do the tough work. Really. It's about everyone. Yeah. So Adam is not putting the fender out, and so therefore the boat is crashing into this thing, and there's like lots of drama, and Culver's like, "Okay, Adam, you got to put the fender out. You got to put the fender out, Adam." And I'm like, What am I supposed to do? This is too much for one man, huh? Too much.
Too much for one man. You want to get the defender up? I should be the defender. I should be the one in Brooklyn defend it. And they're like, no, this isn't about your brother. Fender.
Whoa, that pylon did what to the boat? Whoa, this boat just got jumped by a pylon. Okay, oh man, I'm so mad I couldn't be there. It's like, you were there and you could have stopped it.
Motherfucking pussy pylon. I know, just give me a name. Give me a name of that pylon.
What did that pylon look like? Name. Oh, I know just that pylon. I know just the pylons that would do this.
So they're screaming, "Take the slack out of the spring line, Adam." He's like, "Doy," and so the captain's like, "Secure it, secure the spring line." He's like, "The spring line is on." He's like, "No, you got to tie it, Adam." And he's like, "Joao, Joao, Joao." And then the captain's like, "Joao, Joao, Joao, send someone forward. Let me know when they're tied, and I'll take the thrusters off. I'm incredibly too handsome to be dealing with this right now."
So Joao runs forward to help, and then there's a thruster thing, and then Joao's like, "This whole situation escalated quickly, much like everything in Zimbabwe. Adam is a really hard worker, and he tries really hard, so I'm willing to give him chances after mistakes, but it's not making my job easy at all. It's like being a barista in Zimbabwe. It's not easy because people attack you." I don't know. Just Joao Zimbabwe.
So Margot is taking herself up. She talks herself to go up to take the suitcase. She's like holding a suitcase to go upstairs, and she just looks at it. She's like, "You can do it, Marge." So she goes and gets the suitcase up, and then Harry's like, "What happened to the dog? Did you hit the dog? Did you? It's crazy how that works. You hit the dog. Come on, Adam." And Adam's like, "I don't know. We need another person on the front. Come on."
Like, literally never been an issue with any other below deck.
This has been done millions of times. Not only that, but you guys have the easiest job. I know your boat's one prop, which we've heard a million times, but no other below deck has ever had a huge space only to themselves that they have to just like kind of aim.
Yeah.
You guys don't have to park between other boats or anything else. You just have this big, wide open space to kind of lean against.
And on top of that, like the fender that he ultimately was supposed to put down was like it was like a hot dog on its side. And most of the fenders are vertically oriented, which means you have like a sort of a smaller target. But this one was wide, so you just have like a whole range. You just have to put it down somewhere, you know? So he tells us,
and it's so easy, you guys.
It's like
literally.
Like
Seriously?
He goes, what I do is procedures and steps and everything. But in yachting, we're kind of just winging it. And like, obviously mistakes happen, which it did. Tough situation. I'm like, it wasn't a tough situation. You just have to drop the fender down. Like, you're approaching the boat and you're standing there with a rope in your hand. Like, you already threw the rope over and you're just standing there. What made you think to just stand there? Just run and put the fender down.
How much has Adam cost this boat?
It's like a few $1,000s
let's add
now.
it up. Yeah. So the family leaves back to the grocery store, which, thank God, because everybody else in that town is like completely, depressed because they haven't had their grocery store, or it's been left open to like Darlene or something. And so every time they've gone into that grocery store, it's just been utter shit. They're like, where's Becky? Like, Becky's never taken a day off. So go back, do what you were born to do, get those melons bagged properly.
Dan has to come in, help out a little bit. Aunt Jackie is trying to like spritz down the floors.
Aunt Jackie's making wacky faces. She's like, I don't see the coupon for this. They changed the name of the store because Becky was so offensive.
They're like, wait a second, was that our
so
manager? She looks different now.
Becky X'd something so offensive while she was on vacation that they changed the name.
So they go back to Era, Wisconsin. That's the name of their store. And Aisha's like, oh, they're lovely. Which she, by the way, says about every guest, unless they're absolutely terrible. If you're just one shade above absolutely terrible, for Aisha, you're lovely.
So Margot's like, hey guys, we're more than halfway done now. Guys, this is episode 12. How many working episodes are there this season? What do you mean you're halfway done? Can we be like 3/4 of the way done? Thanks. Great show. Love your show. Wrap it up.
Harry's like, well, you're actually more than halfway done because didn't you come in late? She goes, hey. And he's like, oh. I was like, I didn't realize it was being insulting. So he hugs her and she goes, I'm not hugging you back for the first time. That was mean what you just said. I was like, wait, what? So she goes, I just don't like him in that way. And I don't know how to handle any of this. I know that I should be more honest with Harry, but by now you should be kind of catching on. Can't he tell by how I very obviously, kissed him and cuddled with him and said, yeah, we can kiss and cuddle because I'd sort of like that. Can't he tell I'm not into him?
Oh, Marg. So she's like, excuse me, I need to get there. Which, by the way, I understand that all of this, like, verges on problematic, right? Because, like, especially of all the stuff that's happened on this show. But it's like, don't hurt Harry's feelings. Like, come on, Margot.
Yeah.
So she's like, excuse me, I need to get through. So she goes into the room. She's like, oh, God, what am I going to do? I hope I can hug this out of him. So then Joao is talking to the captain and he's like, well, we got a scrape. It's very, very minor. And Jason's like, where is it? So they have to go up and captain's like, our weakest man was up forward and this is going to cost 1,000 to fix that. And he's like, this is too many mistakes. Multiple damages on board. These mistakes are small, but they add up. And some of them can be embarrassing and some can be costly. And oh, God, some can put Olive Gardens in Santorini out of business. Are we going to roll that footage again? It's like, whoa, Captain. Jason crashes into Olive Garden in Santorini.
Yeah, because, it's like, look, a ladder blew away. Oh no, a railing got bonked. There's a small scrape, and oh, you're going to roll the footage of me crashing the boat onto land, aren't you? Sort of to minimize everything. Thanks a lot. I was trying to build a case.
So Margot and Jamie are dance cleaning. They're like, let's clean. Like being wacky. And which, by the way, love it on TV. Do not love it in real life. If you're here to clean my house, please don't be dancing.
No, I don't think you. Okay, I have a hot take here. I don't think you should ever be dancing unless you're in a situation that calls for dance. So what I mean by that is, for instance, and this is not based on anything that may or may not have happened in the past 24 hours. If you go to a gym and you're working out a gym, I don't need you to see dancing while you're doing your tricep extensions. I don't need you like standing by a machine and dancing and then swirling around and then you stop and you do like your bicep thing. Like I don't like dance in dance appropriate situations. Don't dance at the gym and don't dance when you clean.
Well, yeah, just stop. Okay.
Yeah.
Stop dancing.
Don't do that.
So, Tzarina is mopping angrily. She's still mad. And Culver's like, hey. And she ignores him. It's like those teeth coming around the corner. You just feel the white, like, shing. Hey. I think I'm going to do the trash now. Okay, well, I got the trash. That should be good. Okay, still don't have anything in my mouth. My teeth are leaving. All right, my ear's leaving. My nose is leaving. My other ear's leaving. My teeth are leaving now. She just ignores him the whole time.
She goes, what a slut. So then someone texts Jason that they're at the dock. And then meanwhile, there's more cleaning. And then Culver and Harry are cleaning outside. And Culver goes, hey, you know what's funny, Harry? I always have a girlfriend on a boat, and if you're lucky enough to have been dating long enough, usually the captain will let you share a cabin with your chick, or in some cases, my mom, which is the best, dog, because you can come back and your bed's made, and they're putting their sheets on for you, and they're making Dutch babies in your bed. That's the best. And Harry's like, oh, yeah, this is exciting. I'm going to be a real man soon.
Harry's doing that like guy to guy thing where he's like, oh, tell me, are we on the same page? Are you snuggle buddy as well?
This is definitely the part in the war movie where a soldier is saying like, yeah, I got a real pretty missus back at home. Look at this picture. And Harry's like, oh yeah, when we get home from this war, you can get married, right?
So we gather for the croup meet. The croup. Isn't that an illness? Croup. Let's get together for the croup meeting. Everyone's like,
well, we're getting together for a Joanna Krupa meeting. She will be arriving soon.
Watch what croupins. Everyone's like, is that the podcast where they just cough the whole time?
Remember when we interviewed Joanna Krupa on this podcast randomly? And she's like,
yeah,
I really don't want to talk too much about the Real Housewives of Miami. I really want to talk about she's like, I want to talk about my acting career because I'm starring in a new movie with Rob Gronkowski.
Yes.
And Armando Asante.
She had her agent, right? I mean, this was years ago, right? But she had her agent tell us no talking about housewives. We were like, we're a Real Housewives podcast inviting a Real Housewife on. They're like, no, she's an actress. She wants to talk about that. And we did it. We're such fucking suckers. We were like, what's Rob like?
She literally was promoting a movie she was shooting with Rob Gronkowski and Armando Asante, which actually is the most amazing thing that has ever happened. And I'm surprised I still have not watched it. Well, maybe the movie never got made. It's very possible.
So there's a reason we don't do interviews, by the way. People are wondering. If ever you want to know why, go listen to that. The couple of times, sometimes it's been okay, but the few times we've done it, it's just like, oh my God. Well, I can't listen. I can't.
Little hit and miss.
Yeah. So the
much
guys,
like Joanna's acting career.
No, that's miss and miss. That's like the couple that just left. Miss and miss. So the captain is like, all right, tip meeting. So they get together and he's like, all right, so we're over the halfway mark of things broken on the boat. So keep on going. Hopefully we can break the entire thing by the time we're done.
We taking some, me and Vlad and Dima are taking some bets on what's going to break next. Vlad has his money on the Keurig machine. I say it's just going to be the entire front half of the boat. So we're going to see what breaks first.
Vlad thinks it's going to be the expedition owner's soul that will be broken into. Let's see if we can get there, shall we? All right, we're not doing the helmet today because you're all getting the rest of the day off. Also, Adam has broken the helmet.
Adam accidentally used the helmet as a fender, and it has been crushed between the boat and the dock. So no helmet today.
They also got 1,700 $17,500, which is really good for one day. That was a one-day
Yes.
charter.
Unfortunately, it was all in coupons for a grocery store, so it's going to have limited use.
It was delivered in a Valpak, but
Most of it was for broccoli. So Aisha's like, yay, fun! And he's like, and you're going to a beach club afterwards. Like, yes! So Culver's like, I'm excited to hang out with Jamie more. I know Tzarina might be upset about what might happen, but, you know, you put two horses in a ring together, and they bite and they do this and that, and eventually those horses get along. And what I'm just trying to say is women are like horses. You ride them, and they fight with each other. This is pretty progressive, right?
this guy gets fucking worse with every scene. He is the worst. He's well, I don't want to say the worst because this season we have actually seen the worst.
We've seen much worse.
But this is kind of the worst, not worse than that, but worse in general below deck douchery because he's got such a charm about him.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes it I hate when people can hide behind that. Ugh, he's just such a skeeve ball. Go back to fucking cuddling with your mom, you fucking weirdo.
Okay. So then, hey, someone's arriving on the boat. We don't.
Or
see
as
their
I
face.
like to call her, the stag from heaven, Chef Kim.
Hey, we actually own a racing horse, and guess what we named her? Dutch Baby.
Mama.
Mama. You know, I go to the Bell Mama Steaks. I am from Maryland. No, Maryland is the Preakness. Whew, almost really messed that up.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
Hi, I'm Lindsey Graham, the host of Wondery's podcast, American Scandal. We bring to life some of the biggest controversies in U.S. history, events that have shaped who we are as a country and that continue to define the American experience. American Scandal tells marquee stories about American politics, like the break-in at the Watergate Hotel, an event that led to the downfall of a president and raised questions about the future of American democracy. We go behind the scenes looking at devastating financial crimes, like the fraud committed at Enron and Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. And we tell stories of complicated public figures like Edward Snowden and Monica Lewinsky, people who found themselves thrust into the spotlight and who spurred debates about the future of the country. Follow American Scandal wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
So someone's arriving and their face is obscured, and Jason's like, Aisha, need you to come to the bar. And she's like, okay. So she walks up and she's like, I'm here. And then she goes, yes. And then she sees it's Scott, her boyfriend. She just stops and goes, my boyfriend.
It's the slow motioniest door creaking open.
I watched it 5 times.
It's like a slow motion version of pulling a straw out of a plastic lid. Like,
I can't do it. It's not working with my straw.
but in slow motion. Oh my god. Such
My
stage, my boyfriend is real. And this guy, wow. Who does this guy? This guy looks like.
He directed.
I'm sure that my mom tried to make out with this guy in the 70s in the bowling alley that she met my dad at before she met my dad. Like, this guy is just like, hey, I work at Kiss El Paso. Like, I'm the disc jockey, you know?
To me, he looks like. I was like, I don't know exactly what the director of Uncut Gems looks like, but I think it's this guy.
It looks like, okay, anyone who's fucked a guy in Colorado, it was this guy, you know? Who like kind of smells like mothballs and has like always like a dried booger stuck somewhere on some of his facial hair. And he's just always like, high, or like you don't know if he's like in a bad mood or if he's in a great mood. He's just like an even-keeled, low energy, just high altitude. He's just somewhat dirty but never gross guy. You know,
It's like if you have to go to REI and you ask if they have something, and the person says, "Hold on, let me go check in the back," and then the person who comes back is this guy. Sorry, we don't have it.
after 30 minutes and smelling like weed, and you're like, wait a minute.
But that being said, love Scott. Love this guy. He's so sweet. I think he's actually kind of cute in that kind of crunchy granola, Colorado,
He's
Australian
totally
way. New
cute in
Zealand.
that WKRP in Cincinnati way. Just like that sitcom from the 80s, 70s, 80s, just kind of big, fluffy. You know, he's got like a huge bush, you know, not to be too gross.
A shrine to Barbara Bush, that is.
Yeah, looks like he's from like a Wes Anderson movie.
Very hipster.
Like just, yeah. Bowls. I keep coming back to
Long
bowling alleys.
hanging balls. So Aisha's like, Scott and I have been together for over 2 years now, and we're both still madly in love. Right now we live in Breckenridge, Colorado, and Scott works at a bar, and he's independent, he's adventurous, and he's my best friend in the whole world. I love him so much, and I'll always fucking beat his ass in Settlers of Catan.
This is Tzarina, and she's the chef, and I actually like her. She's very depressed, calling herself ugly and fat, and then making barfing pumpkins to compensate. It's the saddest thing ever, really. Joao's here as well. He's actually being fine. He does say Zimbabwe a lot, and then cackle. But at least he hasn't called me a whore yet, so we're on very good footing, actually.
Yeah, did you talk to the captain? He's like, yeah, how do you think I got here? Ooh. So, meanwhile, Jamie is, they're getting dressed for beach day. Everyone else is getting dressed for beach day, and Jamie has a hat that says "Mad About the Boy," and she's like, should I wear these or like get into total trouble? It's like, see, you can't do the innocent thing. You can't be like, oh, she's mad at me. And then she wears a hat that says "Mad About the Boy." And basically it's like it literally looks like, the hat literally looks like one of Culver's teeth. I mean, you can't be.
It does.
It's like
shape and size and color. It's crazy. She's like, do you think that it would be terrible if I wore this hat and then wrote in eyeliner pencil on top, "Chef is," and just wore it out? Chef is mad about the boy. I don't know. I don't know that I would do that. All right. I certainly wouldn't want to cause any trouble.
What if I just write "mad about you" and put up a picture of Helen Hunt? That way she would be confused and think I'm a fan of a show instead of not realizing it's a reference to Culver.
So they're talking about how she wants to just flirt. She loves flirting, and it just cuts to Culver putting deodorant on his dick, which is really funny. So then Joao is talking to Tzarina, and he's like, do you like my shirt? Look at my minivans on my shirt. That's my print minivans. And she goes, looks like a mini shirt as well. I'm coming back to life. I'm actually coming back to life right now. It's amazing.
And so then Aisha introduces Scott to Joao, and then Margot has Harry's water bottle, and he's like, oh, what, you got my water bottle? And she goes, well, we've kissed before, so it's fine. So yeah, you know, just drink out of it, friend saliva to friend saliva, you know what I'm saying? And he's like,
oh, have we now? Anybody hear that? It's crazy. She just said that. We've been on a date. It's not a big deal, but we have.
It's complicated between me and her. Like, that's our relationship status. I know that Margot doesn't want to be a big thing, so I'm just going to go with it's complicated. Or maybe even like it's DOA, dead on arrival. Something like that. I don't know.
So they leave for noon. It's noon o'clock, in case anybody's dying to know what time. I love when this show's like, it's noon. Like, oh.
Okay.
Good.
Great.
I was like terrified that they were behind schedule on their day off. So they board another boat to woo a lot. It's the woo boat where they get a day off. So they go like, woo. So Scott's like, I don't do scuba. Aisha goes down, and then she tells me what's down there.
And I was surprised that no one made any sort of double entendre joke off of that. And then, meanwhile,
I think they're just like wondering if this guy's about to flatline or what. I'm like, did somebody put a benzo in this guy's drink? He's just that Colorado guy. We've all known this guy. I fucked this guy. Not this. Maybe not this. Maybe, I don't know. Literally, I didn't ask his name, but like we've all fucked this guy. They're just like, hey, I love Colorado. You know why? It's just so high energy here.
It's basically Bravo's version of Adam Driver. This big old fish behind my head. So,
fucking Adam Driver.
Adam Diver.
So actory.
So, then meanwhile, so Tzarina is like sitting right next to Joao, and like the boat shifts. So she sort of like falls onto his knee. And she's like, oh, crayon eater incoming. And Joao's like, oh, you're resting your boob on my knee. That's what it's there for, though. It's for some zim resting. And Aisha's talking about how her love language is touch. And Jamie's like, my love language is touch, words of affirmation, quality time, and stealing Tzarina's man. Those are my kind of things.
You know what my love language is? Passive-aggressive hits. God, I love them. Every time.
My love language is winning Oscars. Because I look like two different Oscar winners blended into one person. Thank you very much.
And she tells us, I can't help this feeling for Culver, but then there's this thing between Tzarina and I. And maybe before I was on the boat, they had this connection, but at the same time, it couldn't have been that serious, could it? No, I don't think it's that the connection is serious, and I don't like that she's again, you know, I'm saying it a million times, but I don't like that they're making it like, oh my God, Tzarina just can't take the rejection, and like she's so weird. It's not like he was in love with her. It's that her feelings are hurt that you guys are being such fucking assholes to her about it.
Yeah, like,
that's
right.
why her feelings are hurt. It's not the boy, okay? It's that you guys are flagrantly disrespecting her and being shitheads to her face in front of everybody.
Yeah.
It's humiliating, and it's like fucking, it's 10 times worse than rejection because you're like laughing about it and think you're being hilarious and publicly doing it. You suck. You fucking suck.
Yeah.
I'm like you, lady.
Yeah, get out of here, lady. So now they all arrive at Fitzroy Island, and Aisha's like, oh my God, I'm so excited we'll land. And there's a guy there, and he starts talking about the Great Barrier Reef and how we basically are destroying it. And so they are working to restore it by growing coral and everything. And so it kind of like splits up into some people go snorkeling, some people go scuba diving to work on the reef. And then I was like, wait, does Adam actually swim? Has he been lying about not being able to swim? Because he's swimming here. Or is it just because he has like, he has the flippers on, so he's like okay to swim? I was a little confused.
Oh, I didn't even notice that he was swimming. Well, proud of you.
Did it,
I guess.
And then Culver and Jamie kiss underwater, which is just even more annoying. I don't know. I'm a little over them myself.
Yeah, they're like, let's hide. Let's kiss in private in this clear water thing right in front of everybody.
Right in front of Fivehead.
Yeah, Fivehead, who's still in like fabulous mode, like twirling their dress around. So then they go to lunch after all of this. I would love to go into the monologue about the coral reef, but I'm literally bored. Guys, go save your coral. Hug a coral, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about that. So then we go to lunch, and Margot's telling Jason, whatever, what's his name? Adam. She's like, you remind me of my sister's boyfriend. You're just so easy to be around. And she's like, isn't it relaxing to be around? I mean, sometimes I need a white noise machine in the van, and I say, Adam, tell me about your childhood. And it's just one long, even-toned drone, and I fall right asleep every time.
And actually, correction, Margot was talking to Scott when she said that, because then Adam chimes in and goes,
wait, then why'd you say his name is Adam? Oh, I meant the boyfriend.
Yeah, I said Adam by accident, but it was Scott. Because I know,
lovely woman.
I'm sorry. And so then Adam goes, hey, it's okay, Margot, baby. you could be my fake girlfriend for the day. And Marco's like, oh, okay, I'll be your fake girlfriend. Will you be my fake boyfriend? You'd be such a fun date to anything. You'd be probably, I would actually say that of all the people sitting at the table, you would be the person I'd have the most fun with on a date. Whether that date were on top of a boat with charcuterie, whether that date had to go downstairs into a salon because it started raining, whether that date was at any number of bars we've already been to, you'd probably be the person I'd have the most fun with. Yeah, I can't think of any other single person here who I'd have fun with. As much fun as with you, Adam.
Yeah, I'll be your fake girlfriend. Will you be my fake boyfriend? He's like, sure. And she's like, yeah, you're so fine. And so Harry's just watching them. He's like, we should get a pic together because we're on a date. And she's like, I'm so down for a pic. So they take a picture, and Harry's telling us, Margaret's shouting to Adam more than she's cheating with me. And one day she's in my bed cuddling, and the next day she's flirting with Adam. I don't know what I've done wrong. Oh, Harry. Is
it the patches I have on my zits on my face? Poor poor Harry. Sorry. So now they all go to the beach, and then
He'll
Harry
find the right person one day.
He will.
I wonder what they're going to be like.
I know
keep
exactly.
tabs on Harry in the future because I want to know who he ends up with.
You know, someone did mention that he looks like a young Chris Noth, and that is hard to put out of your mind. But he will 100% find someone. I know exactly the sort of person he will wind up with. Because I have gone to a board game convention before, so I know. Harry wants to put. Harry needs some suntan lotion on his back because they've all moved down to the beach, and Margot basically ignores him. She's like, "Can someone put some suntan? Margot, will you put some suntan lotion on my back?" And she's like, I love the birds in the sky. And then Adam's like, "Hey, Margie, can you put some on my back when you're done? After you're done with Harry's back." So she goes. I don't know why I'm taking so long to say that. Margot ignores Harry and puts lotion on Adam's back instead.
But now, so she's being like this with Harry because obviously she wants Harry to like be the one to break up or whatever. So
she avoids conflict, right? But this is kind of mean.
It's kind of mean, and it's mean of Adam too because Adam knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? He knows how much Harry likes her. So I'm not really sure why everybody is choosing to be mean. You know what I mean?
It's
like
poor Harry.
It's like Below Deck, you know, and I get that we've seen way meaner seasons of Below Deck than this, but I'm like, why is everybody just hurting each other's feelings on purpose? Because everyone seems so nice.
I know. So then Culver starts.
It's like they're small infractions, right? But like I feel like this is bro code. This is very bad. This is not small. This is a bigger infraction than Harry's making it.
Well, you know, Adam's distracted because his brother got jumped, so that's what's going on with him. So Culver,
like, you ain't the only one who's about to get jumped, bro. Huh? Hey, Ma, tell him that, would you? Tell him to his face if his face is still handsome. Or if he's ugly, I don't want to see him anymore.
Yo, if I can just get enough chicks to put lotion on my back, then maybe I can buy a house for my mom. So Culver is now doing Jamie's back. He's like, you know, always when I'm at home, I make Chef Kim put on my essential oils before I go on the boat. And then I go out on the boat all day long. Isn't that a great story? And she's like, oh, is Chef Kim your brother? She goes, it's my mom. She's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to just ignore that little tidbit there because it's kind of creeping me out. And just going to focus on your dick right now. That's right.
That's Culver's kink. Like, you know that he really likes you when he starts going off about this. Like, I live on a ranch with Chef Kim, and she covers me in essential oils with her bare hands. And I got horses, and Chef Kim rides them, and I ride them with her in the same saddle. It's like he starts telling all these creepy family, like, come to my ranch. Don't you want to come to my glamorous ranch?
And he tells, like, his stories all sound like they're both from Montana, but he sounds like he's from the deep south, but he's really just in Maryland, so nothing really makes sense.
Yeah, he's an on dude. So then we got, he's like, I just feel like he builds up this big myth about his life.
Specifically his mom, and his mom rubbing oil on his back in between making him Dutch babies.
So creepy. I mean, it sounds like we're making it up, but he really does. He's like, yeah, back home I have Chef Kim put all my essential oils on.
So then
nasty, dude.
I don't want to think about
like, you're
that.
grown. Like, what the fuck, Eddie Oedipus?
So Eddie Oedipus, not to be confused with Eddie Expert. So so now Joao comes out of the ocean, and he sort of comes out kind of like the Michelin Man, right? Sort of comes on out a little tiry, you know. And Tzarina.
Oh my God, he's my gold tire. That's a tire.
No, he looks good, but he's he kind of has like a husky Michelin Man kind of vibe, right? And Tzarina's eyeing him, and she's like, wow, did anyone else see that? Did anyone else see that in slow motion? Or was that just me? Whoa, hubba, hubba, hubba.
She's like, oh, I think he has the perfect body for a guy, Joao. Also, I think I'm pretty drunk right now. And he's like, oh, well, thank you. He set up my bed for me like this. It's very nice. And it's like, come here and give me some attention, Joao. So he lies next to her on the, you know, the little bed thing next to her. And she's like rubbing his arm and holding his wrist. And she's like, I could get used to this, Joao. And he's like, which part? She's all of it.
And then she goes, oh, fuck. I'm going to fuck it up, aren't I? He's been incredible and supportive, and he checks in on me in the galley all the time, and I feel like I have this really good mate. I'm like, yeah, you are going to fuck it up because you are about to break your own girl code with your best friend. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, but looks like, you know, she's like, fuck that.
She's like, fuck Brooke.
I can always apologize to Brooke later, baby. So Culver and Jamie are taking pics, and Harry's like, all right, now you guys should kiss. I didn't say suck each other's faces off. This is crazy. It's just like me and Margot. Margot's just like sitting on the beach staring at him like, please die.
She's buried herself in the sand.
Go into the water and get bitten by something, please.
Please touch a jellyfish. So Harry's like, well, it's 5:30 and I haven't thought about the boat all day long. And then we see, by the way, Captain Jason this entire time he's wrapped himself into like a kimono. Like he's wearing a kimono like one of the guys in Big Business, and he's just sort of like walking around the boat, pouring himself coffee, doing yoga, waving to passing boats. He's having a great day.
Just noticed him just like leaning back into one of the deck chairs, having a like fruity drink with a face mask on.
So now the crew's they're on the ferry again, and they go across the ocean to a restaurant, and they get there, and Aisha's like, oh look, this is so nice. Like everything is getting her excited this episode.
Yeah.
Commercials. Here comes one right now.
And Culver is talking to Jamie, and he's like, wow, this food competes with Sheffy's food. It's so good. I can't wait to go home. 4-wheelers, dirt bikes, water. We have a bunch of horses. We've got moms to make out with. She's like,
when God wakes up, the first thing he looks at is Jupiter Hollow, which is where I live. Jamie's like, yeah, okay, she's like, hold on one second, Culver. I'm just going to close my eyes and revisualize your body. Okay, got it. I'm horny for you again.
I went to this psychic, and he told me that I would marry someone who has a farm, and that I would be chased by an older lady with something called a Dutch baby and a shotgun for the rest of my life.
Apparently I'll suffer some sort of debilitating injury of a cast iron skillet hitting my skull.
But that it will all be worth it in the end. And Tzarina's just watching them like, die. And Culver's like, you know, I'm not even nervous around you. I mean, maybe a little bit, in that way of like, God, hope I don't always have to make my own avocado toast. But
you know what? I'm not nervous around you. It's almost like you're a 4-wheeler or a dirt bike or a boat or a horse. Just one of the things on the ranch that I'm so comfortable with. Can I talk about that stuff again? Please don't. Please don't. I just want to focus on your body right now.
So Tzarina's like, I thought this was a group day off and not fucking Jamie and Culver's honeymoon. All right, can you just not rub it in my face right now?
So she goes to the bathroom before she scowls away, like, And so Jamie's like, I feel like Sheffy is really angry at us for even talking. I can just see the daggers. It's like she's pissed off that we're dry humping each other right on her plate. I can't understand why she's so mad at us.
They're such assholes. So Aisha is like, so Adam, has this experience made you want to move into yachting? Or do you still want to do commercial boats? And Adam's like, look where we are. I mean, God, I wish those kids could see what I'm seeing. I wish my ma could be here to see what I'm seeing. But I promised them by next June, we'll be in a house. Because we always been in apartments and stuff. But I care about them more than I care about myself. Not even joking. I'm living for my family. I'm buying everything for my family. Anyone want to make out with me yet? Anybody want to make out with me yet?
He's like, you know what? It's crazy. Because like we had like a family. Like I see all the boys on the deck as brothers and all the girls as sisters. What I guess I'm trying to say is I want to buy us all a house we could live in. I'm obsessed with brothers and sisters. I even got DVDs of the first 4 seasons of the ABC hit show, Brothers and Sisters. God,
I've got a Sally Field poster, all right?
God, sometimes I just go into Staples to look at all the things that are produced by the company Brother. Oh, every one of those printers.
So I'm going to take all my brothers to see Sister Act. Just so we can spend some time with sisters.
Oh, man. Looks like I'm just checking. Oh, looks like my DVD of Sisters season 1 just arrived. Can't wait.
Oh, good. So Adam's like, yeah, it's just crazy. Oh, who cares? Okay, so Joao is like, yeah. But for me, we're different, but we have a lot that's the same. For me, family is first too. We connect in many ways. Family, 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 family. And
it's like, your brother got jumped, but and there are people who are like, what does jumped mean? And I'm like, that is literally how we were brought up. I spent my entire childhood jumping from ages 2 to 6. People just don't understand. It's just different in Zim.
So then we get a Joao monologue, which I forgot this monologue. It's just his first season monologue. We've heard this before, but it's sad, you know. He talks about how, and he's crying. So it was mean of me to make a joke earlier about it. Sorry,
but funny.
But
mean.
He's
but
talking about how his trauma is basically that his parents broke up when he was just a little kid, and they lived in a really dangerous area, and so she was like a sitting duck. It's kind of like Our Planet, isn't it? When they're like, and then the penguin strayed away from the, and then it's like being chased by an orca. That's what it sounds like, but it's Joao's story.
Yeah, because Joao we had heard previously that Joao and his mom had suffered through a horrific home invasion, which was always crazy. And then he says that now it's like inflected with this idea that because his parents broke up, there was no dad there to protect them, and just him and his mom. And essentially, because the mom was single, that she was an easy target for being robbed. And he says that there were 6 robberies, 6 nights in a row, which I don't even remember that part. That is absolutely crazy. But also, by the way, robbers, if you can't clear everything out after 2 nights, like, what are you doing? Honestly, 6 nights in a row is insane. And Joao talks about that I guess he had like a BB gun or something.
We're like, it's this like terrible traumatic story. We're like, do they not have pickup trucks? I mean,
like, why did you have to go back 6 days in a row? Like, is this like a Sam
bring
going
a bigger bag?
What else? Like, now you're just going back to get some forks and knives? Like, this is ridiculous. Stupid robbers.
This dog can literally sleep through anything, by the way. Look at Bueller. I just screamed right at him and he didn't even move.
No, that is an absolutely horrific childhood memory. Like, I cannot imagine.
Is, yeah.
I also feel bad. I mean, I'm not even gonna be callous and say like, well, after night number 2, why not go somewhere else? I have to imagine they did not have the resources to do that.
So that's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then
it's sad. It's just hard, like after so many hours of Below Deck in one day, to not laugh at like literally everything. But yeah, it is really sad. It's
but he says, I guess he tried to shoot at the robbers and then he shot himself. And
my God. And he's crying and he's like, and then you may ask a parent, like, how do you let your son shoot themselves? But like, I had to. Like, I was protecting my family. And then I asked my mom one day, where do you think I'd be if I didn't join yachting? And she said that I would be dead or in jail. And he's crying, and it's really sad. It makes you, like, feel for Joao. Joao is pulling off something here. And I'm not saying, like, oh, my God, love your trauma. Great trauma. Good score on that trauma. I'm not saying that. But he's kind of pulling something off, which is very rare, which is redemption of a shithead male on this show. Because this show tries it more than Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah.
And they always fail because they go back right away to their true colors. And I know it's still early, and I'm not saying that Joel's like great now or anything, but he's doing a good job at getting me to buy it. You know?
Yeah.
Because I felt really bad watching this part. I was like,
Me too.
Joel is so nice. He's being nice to Tzarina. What could go wrong?
But I also did appreciate sort of like the one-upsman. He wasn't one-upping, but it was kind of like, oh, so your brother got shoved on a playground. Well, let me tell you about the time that we were robbed 6 nights in a row and I wound up shooting myself with a gun as a result of it.
Yeah. So Joel's like, well, I could give you my brother's number to get on his boat. And I was like, well, where was your brother?
Yeah, well, maybe it's his younger brother.
Why didn't he shoot?
Maybe it's a younger brother.
Give a baby a gun. Hey, listen, I'm in Texas. You give that baby a damn gun, okay? They can lean on it while they learn to walk.
So here's the phone. I'll give you the phone number of
I'm
my
mad
brother.
at the brother. I'm mad at the brother now. Like, that's how sad I am about this story. I'm like, fuck that brother. He did nothing to help.
Listen, here's the phone number for my brother. So you could have, they're always looking for people on the boat who don't know how to do anything because they need some sort of comic relief. So give him a call.
They love people who tie knots backwards.
They've been looking for more dents on their boat. They've been looking for a way to get rid of the ladder on their boat. They don't really know how. So I said, why don't you give them a call?
So they bond. They're bonded over that. Okay, so now people are eating, and Margot and Adam are talking now. And she's like, so did I get a tan today? I didn't get any tan lines. And he's like, you look like Jessica Simpson. Anybody ever told you that? I was like, ooh.
Wow.
Adam's making the move.
Yeah. So then Margot makes like a toast. She's like, she doesn't make a toast. She just sort of like drinks with Joao or something like that. And Harry's like, Harry then asks Tzarina. He's next to Tzarina and he's like, so do you think you're going to hook up with Joao this season? And she's like, well, I'm open to it, but it's playing with fire. Sex ruins a lot and it's different for guys than it is for girls. And when we have sex with someone, we instantly have this connection. Although I think probably not with you. I think even with you, we wouldn't even form that connection. No offense, but we can't help it, which is why we have to take a step back.
And then Margot is scratching Joao's head. And she's like, if I give you a head scratch, can I have a neck massage? She's like, I'll give you a neck massage for free. You don't have to do this for me, Zim. And she's like, no, I will. And then Tzarina is watching this with Harry. They're both watching them. And Serena's like, you're being friend-zoned, mate. You understand that, right?
Look,
like finally someone tells Harry.
Because the Margot saying like, I can't wait to visit you in New York for real. There's no one else here I'd want to visit. So then they're all admiring the waiter's legs, and they love his legs are very toned, and talking about always doing leg day. And Harry goes, I do leg day, I squat. And Margot goes, do ya? He goes, oh, well, why are you surprised? He goes, well, you just look like you have very lean, long, 13-year-old prepubescent legs. That's all.
And Harry's like, all right, well, then everybody can just have a crack with me, then. Is that what it? Have a crack with me, then, whatever. Oh. And so she's like, hey, why are you mad at me all of a sudden? He's like, yeah. She's like, come on, are you mad at me? And he chugs his martini, just like giving her a smile across, like, I am mad, and you're going to get this devilish smile about it. Drunk, 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 drunk.
So they decide to walk off to have a talk. Okay, everyone's like, oh, lovers tiff. So they sit down, and Margot's like, oh, so you hate me now? Like what? Like I can't just ignore you all day and be really cold and icy to you, and all of a sudden you gotta hate me for it?
And he's like, no, not at all. I think you're amazing. I was like, oh, God, Harry, I believed in you for 1 second, but you can't even stay mad. And he's wearing, this is so sad, okay, because I used to recap Bachelor, and the rose is the symbol of the Bachelor, right? And so when you're about to dump somebody, you take them on a one-on-one. And then if they prove themselves, if they have a good enough trauma, basically, they tell a traumatic story. And then if you like their traumatic story, you give that person the rose. rose, and then that's the symbol that they can come. And poor Harry is wearing a whole collar of roses. Oh. And he's about to get his ass done. Like, he had to bring his own roses, and he's about to get sent home in a helicopter in the middle of an island. And I just feel for him.
Yeah, poor Harry. And Margot's like, well, you were really sassy to me. I mean, so I was like, well, Harry and I are having our first fight. And he goes, well, I feel like we had the talk where we're like going to be chill and go with the flow, and now are we good friends? Are we like cuddle buddies? Like, I just want to know what you want, because like I see Culver and Jamie and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I not doing to get there? She's like, well, first of all, puberty. You should probably do that first.
First note on the to-do. Puberty.
Maybe you should see someone about hormones, okay?
Okay, look, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's just my friend vibes. But then randomly, I'll have vibes where I like you more than a friend, but then I change my mind. I don't know. You know? And I don't want to be like giving you the wrong impressions, but I honestly don't know what's going on in my brain either. I just want it to be how it has been, you know? Where I like flirt with you when I'm drunk, but then I'm kind of repulsed by you and icked out by you in the daytime. Can we keep it that way? And he's like, yes.
He's like, okay. It's like, yeah, we can chill together. Oh, what I'm trying to say is that, like, sometimes I see you as a friend and other times I see you as a friend. So I guess I'm kind of scrambled. Are you like a friend or are you just like a friend? I don't know.
You know what? You do not get this rose, but you do get this daffodil. But I'm going to paint the daffodil to look just like a rose. Okay? You can have that. Uh-oh. Okay.
You know what?
This daffodil rose. Enjoy
you know what?
that.
I've decided to give this daffodil rose to someone else.
I want to eat that. Can I eat that? Do you mind?
Here's just like a sticker of a smiley face, and you can just put that on something.
That red paint I put on the daffodil, I think it had lead in it. I'm allergic to lead. You want to cuddle? Let's cuddle.
Oh, so I've realized I only am attracted to you when I'm going through a lead episode. That makes more sense. So
we call it Harry poisoning.
So Harry, thankfully, Harry gets the picture. He realizes it. Like, I was a little worried that he still wouldn't realize it. And he's basically like,
so you're saying there's a chance then? But he's not. He's like, okay, I feel gutted. I feel awful. She says she likes me sometimes. Friend zone, party of one.
So yeah, they hug and Mark goes, oh, we'll be friends forever, I think, right? Keyword there is friends, though. Okay, friends.
In the zone. Can we be friends forever while shopping at AutoZone together? Forever.
Get in the zone. AutoZone. And I know you're about to yes and me with O'Reilly, but that's not the point of me saying AutoZone, Harry.
So Tzarina is watching Culver rubbing Jamie's butt, and she's like, really? And so now it's time to go. So everybody gets in the vans, and Margot gets in with Adam, Aisha, and Scott. And Aisha and Scott are in the back, and she gets in with Adam. And who cares? Like, who cares where people are sitting? They get back to the boat, and Tzarina is passing by Culver, who just got out of the van. And she goes, slut.
I was like...
and just starts laughing. I mean, just the drunk way she did it. She looks right at the camera. She goes, slut.
It was like young Lucille Bluth. Good for you. So Jamie is like, that was so unnecessary. It actually makes me kind of angry now. And Culver's like, oh, she was talking to me. She ain't talking to you. It's like her banter. It's like when Chef Kim is like, come and get it, Dutch babies. Just banter.
She's like, well, I don't think it's funny banter. I'm angry now. I'm wearing a hat that says angry at the chef. I hope that's not too obvious. He's like, it'll get better. And she's like, not funny. So then Harry is asking if anybody's coming for a hot tub. But Aisha and Scott are just cuddling in like a mess. They're just like cuddled all over each other on the mess bench.
And if you want to talk about fabulous, by the way, as they set up the hot tub, we get a jellyfish that is so fabulous that the screen is split up into 6 different panes, and the jellyfish extends over 2 of them. It's like such a sassy jellyfish that it gets 2 frames. Pretty amazing.
Those are really fabulous fish, the jellyfish.
They really are.
And they're like the most feared, right? Because they're the ones most likely to sting you, and you never really see them coming. And
Yeah, they're like the biggest celebrities in the ocean because you just can't approach them. They're just like the hot girls at the party.
I think like everybody's I think every fish is afraid of jellyfish too, right? Those are fuckers. Jellyfish will fuck you up. Okay,
well, they definitely are like the quintessential like stereotype of like hot girls in LA, which is that they're just like gorgeous. You can't approach them, and there's not a lot going on with them either.
I feel like there is so much going on with them because they're just like always. They're just like fabulous all the time. Like I watch them just move through the water. I'm like, how are you even
just
doing
floating
this?
through life?
Yes. Have you ever seen a jellyfish washed up, where they like wash up on the beach and they look like, you know, when you're blowing bubbles with gum and then you just like kind of close the bubble off, but then you just let it slowly deflate on your lips. That's what they look like, and you're like, oh my god, you're just like such a trash gum fish. Like,
I know.
You're literally nothing, but you see them in their element, and they're like, la, la,
yeah, like at night, they're all dressed up. At night, they're dressed up. The lighting's good. They've got the makeup on. They're just like gorgeous. And then in the day on the sand, they're like, you know, like, whoa.
They're totally Instagram fish, where they just like, in the right lighting, you're totally catfished by the jellyfish.
Exactly. So anyway, the hot tub is going and Aisha she's saying honestly, she is saying the sweetest things about Scott, saying how like, you know, he's like, Scott sees me for like, we're not super similar, but like Scott just sees me for exactly who I am and loves every part of it, which is actually like, I find to be very, very sweet. I was like, oh. And, you know, she talks about her parents and like going through divorce and her mom's struggles with alcoholism, and Scott just like provides stability in her life, and he just gets her. And, you know, it's like, I was like, I love Scott and Aisha.
So then we go to the hot tub, and it's Joao, Adam, Harry, and Jamie. Okay. So Joao's like, Jamie, where are the other ladies? I'm going to go find Sheffy. So he leaves and he knocks on her door, and he's like, come to the jacuzzi. It's warm. And she's like, no. And he lays with her a little bit.
Yeah.
And
his wet body getting her sheets like wet.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, yeah, because, you know, he's like, my time with Tzarina has been great. It's like, she's like the Zim of women. And naturally, you don't cuddle with someone you're not attracted to. And I'm into it. I don't know if she is, but I am. And I will if you will. So will I. So, and then he gets up and you see the sheets. There's like a puddle on her bed. I was like, ugh.
And she's like, I'll see you later for cuddles then. And she pats the bed. He's like, okay. And then he leaves, and she just goes, really? Can't even keep a Joao in here.
I'll just put on my night brace and eat some crayons to sleep. So then we see Margot in the mess, and she's like digging into some sort of like leftover vegetables or whatever. She's like, I just need some nutrients. And then she just sort of is sitting there and just goes, bah, just lets out this burp, this little baby burp.
So Jamie is with Culver and Harry in the hot tub. So she's like, so Harry, how you doing? And he's like, just chilling. She goes, well, I guess I don't want to make it awkward, hey? So I'll just move away from Culver, who was about to fuck in the hot tub until you refused to leave after I hinted you. And I'll sit over here now. And he just cracks up. And Culver's like, you think this is awkward? She goes, well, a lot of things have been awkward. And Harry's like, oh, God. Here we go. So he's like, if you fancy someone and one of his good mates swoops in and snags them, then that is a shit feeling, you know? I know the feeling, and that's even harder for Sheffy because she has to work and live with you guys, living in close quarters. And Culver's like, that's not my problem. And Jamie's like, yes, it is your problem. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, and Harry's like, yeah, he's like, the way you're eating that food tonight in front of Tzarina, that's not very nice. And Jamie's like, yeah, but Jamie's like, you're making me look like the bad person, and Culver's getting away with everything, and like I'm the one that's receiving hate when all I did was come in and sort of just disrespect the person who said that she's into you. And Culver's like, hey, it'd be one thing if Sheffy and I were boyfriend and girlfriend and we had a kid and she made me Dutch babies, and we went mountain biking together and pet the horses and went fishing on the boat back at the ranch. God, I love that ranch. Maybe if she put essential oils on my back just like my mom would. I don't know. But we're not.
Maybe if she just came in, if she was the kind of girl to just come in with 7 of my babies wearing an apron that says Chef Kim on it. I mean, maybe then. But we're not, I mean, like, I'm as single as they come. And Jamie's like, well, then I think you need to tell her that. And she's like, I don't even know what was going on. So if she's mad, why is she mad at him? Wasn't she mad at him? She's mad at me. She is mad at him. She just called him a slut, and yesterday she pushed him, and she's not feeding him. So this is not a situation where the man is getting away with everything. He is getting in trouble, but you deserve it too.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
This is a situation where you both are being dicks.
You both are fuckers. So Culver's like, but I won't get fed anymore. Because she says, you got to set a boundary. He's like, I won't get fed anymore. And she goes, I don't care.
Learn to make something. What kind of chef mother raises a child that knows how to make nothing? Like, you have failed. Your son is terrible to women, and he doesn't even know how to cook. Is Chef Kim even real? Is she a person? Or is she like a brand of frozen meals that you eat? Because I'm not even believing that this woman exists at this point. And if she does, she's done a terrible fucking job.
That would be an amazing twist of psychosis if Chef Kim is like doesn't even exist or is like long
She's
dead.
the logo on a frozen meal.
She's a skeleton in the attic. So Culver's. So Jamie's like, well, I don't care if you don't get fed anymore. I'm saying I like you, and I like you. So Harry's like, oh, I should probably go. This is getting awkward. I'm like, yeah, you should have gone 20 minutes ago. They were trying to bone. So Culver's like, listen, Jamie, I would fucking starve just to have you. I would do that. She's like, oh. So they kiss.
Yeah. He goes, yeah, I have to tell Sheffy. She goes, you need to tell her I love your food, but I want to fuck Jamie. He's like, okay. So Joelle and Margot are still eating. Now they're on to like 2 other Tupperwares. Like, they're going to town.
Yeah.
And Margot goes, wait a minute. Are we okay? Are we sure that this is okay? We're okay, right? And he goes, no. Yes, we're okay. She goes, no, we're not okay. And I don't know what they're talking about, but I surprisingly like them together.
Yeah. So now it's the morning, and everyone's cleaning and stuff, and Aisha's making Scott a coffee, and now she has to. Now it's time for Scott to leave. So Jason comes by to say goodbye, and Jason does that thing where he like slaps Scott on the arm, but his hand just comes in so strong. It's like whoosh, like that big sort of like burly Australian man slap on the shoulder thing, and I'm surprised Scott was still standing after that.
And so Aisha's crying, and she's like, hey, the sad part is that now I know what it's like to have you. Now you're not going to be here.
Yeah, Scott and I are saving up to buy a house in New Zealand. Hopefully we could do that. Oh, yeah, for all your brothers and sisters? No, just for us. And your brothers and sisters, though, right? No, just the 2 of us. And brothers and sisters. Like, is there such a thing as a house without brothers and sisters in it? I don't understand.
What kind of life is this? So Culver is pacing around and watching Tzarina out the window. Okay, so he's freaking out, right? Because he has to go have this talk. Because she's outside smoking. And so he's watching from the window like, oh, God, avocado toast, properly seasoned avocado toast. You can do this, Culver.
Yeah, so he's like, this is gonna be an awkward one. Like, the way I eat keeps my metabolism going, which is so annoying when people in shape always do that thing. Like, but I gotta eat. So he goes up to her and he's like, hey, I just want to check in on you. I saw you eating some crayons out here. Were you upset last night? She's like, well, I'm just feeling quite deflated. That's it. He goes, well, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I just wanted to remind you of your place in this world. I'm a jock, you're a weirdo, etc., etc. So I hope you don't take it too personal.
And he's like, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. And she says, I know you didn't. But, I think it's just one of those soul ego moments. Like, my head used to be sore after that fucking headgear. You know what I mean? You don't really know how much molars can hurt after eating a 24 box of crayon. Really.
The thing is with Jamie, I think with her, she just clocked what was going on, and for her to step in, and it's just kind of like that girl code thing. That's someone I can't trust. So anyway, I'm going to go and hit on Joao a little bit. If I get any texts from my friends, just say I'm busy.
Yeah, and this was shitty too, because he's like, well, Jamie thinks you hate her and she wants you guys to get along. So like, can't you just apologize?
Yeah,
like, why are you already
throw her under
standing
the
up for
bus.
this girl?
Yeah, and like sort of pushing forward the narrative that like there's tension between the two of you, which there is, but like don't drag Jamie into this. Just apologize for yourself.
Right. It's like, I'm going to come to you to like barely apologize, because that was like a barely apology if I've ever seen one, but also stick up for the girl that I offended you with. Like, what a piece of shit. So she's like, listen, this isn't the first time that I've been rejected, and I'm not going to be a jealous bitch about it. Let's just crack on. All right. Let's just crack on with it. And that's all he had to do, you know, the whole time.
So now we have a preference sheet meeting. The next primary is named Emily Monstry, which is not a good sign if your last name sort of sounds like monster. It's like literally monster spelled with like a minor variation. So she's an American investor who basically got stranded in Australia during the pandemic and then now moved there. And now that's like her new home. So she wants to bring all her newest friends on vacation. And so Jason is like worried about the deck team, mainly because they keep ruining the boat. They keep damaging the boat, every single charter. So he's really concerned. He's like, please, this time, don't do anything catastrophic.
For real. Okay, so now they're all getting ready, and Margot is telling nobody. She's like, mirrors, my worst enemy. And then we see the deck crew having a meeting, and Joao's like giving them, he's like, listen, we're going to, get this together this time, blah, blah, blah. We're going to prep lines. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm going to be your team later, and we're going to move forward.
Just a little bit of constructive criticism, though. For instance, just sort of speaking theoretically, if the boat seems like it is hurtling towards a dock, maybe throw a fender in between the boat and the dock, things like that. If it looks like a boat is about to, a tender is about to slam into the railing, maybe slow down the hook. Just things like that. Just putting that out there.
Okay, so if I have to be the bad guy, I'm going to be the bad guy. And Culver's just like staring off into space. He's like, Culver, did you understand what I said? I'm basically a non-home cooked meal. And Culver's like, oh man, don't be mean to me.
That's terrible. So now it's okay. The deck team is setting up the passerelle. 30 minutes till the guests arrive. And
the guests come, yeah. And then the guests like take a tour through the boat, and they're like, oh, I guess this is our room, right? And this girl named Tamara is like, no, we need this room. And they're like, no, that room was already called. She goes, no, we need the desk. We need the desk, honey. You need to do something about that. We need the desk.
She's going to be a monster. She's very Jennifer Connelly looking, but
Thank
like her
you.
hair's
That's
all
who
up.
I was trying to come up with in the last recap. Jennifer Connelly, the freckle face.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
That was
So
a Jennifer?
thank you for coming full circle. It was Jennifer Connelly.
Well,
what a stunner that lady is.
She is. She is really
Beautiful.
like gorgeous. So
she's not from Train Spotting. She's from the other drug movie.
Labyrinth.
No.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yes, with Ellen Bernstein, right?
Ellen Burstyn. Ellen Bernstein. Ellen Bernstein is not in that movie, but she recently saw it, and she says, "Feh, didn't like it, didn't care for it." Oh, Ellen, come on, it was good. No, I didn't care for it. I didn't understand. It was a refrigerator biting up a person. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I love that we got to Jennifer Connelly. Thank you. I would have woken up in the middle of the night still worried about that.
So, yeah, but she looks like Jennifer Connelly playing the role of a, like, wealthy, entitled person. And so she's like...
If I would look like Jennifer
desk.
Connelly, I would be 10 times more of a nightmare than I am now. I'm already pretty bad.
Jennifer Connelly had a really important role in Top Gun Maverick. I mean, remember that scene where she had to take Tom Cruise on a boat around the harbor? Wow.
Yeah.
That was pivotal.
Yeah.
She was so important.
I know. Bless her heart. So, she's pissed about the room, basically. And so the guy's like, okay, I guess we'll have a conversation, but the other room's not that much better. She's like, it doesn't have a desk. So then the lines come up, She's like, she's so full of shit.
What
And
is she-
it doesn't look like a nice, comfortable desk either. You know, it's just like...
She's just gonna be like, she's like a notary. She's like, I need a desk to be able to put my stamp on it. Okay,
Yeah.
I can't do it on my lap.
She has to have a desk. So they're doing the lines, and Adam's like, last time we docked, I fucked up. I can't afford to fuck up. I really can't. And so the lines are in, and it's clear to wing and swing, and they do it. And Margot's in the laundry, and
Everything's great.
she's trying to come up with people's names, and she's like, Victoria, Emily, question mark. Are we okay? Am I okay? Do I love Harry? Does Harry love me? Do I love cheese? Are people really allergic to cheese? Is that a thing?
Is Wisconsin
God, I love
even a
my
real
eBay.
place? Am I from a real place? So so then all of a sudden everything gets quiet on the show. They cut the music, so people are just walking around. And whenever it's like a horror movie, you know, once the music goes away, that's when the real shit's gonna happen. That's when something's gonna jump out at you. So we know there's about to be a catastrophic failure because we just see the Deckies saying like, "All right, like let's prepare for anchor. Let's get we're gonna have an anchor ready." Adam, can you come do the anchor first? Can you get ready to do the anchor? So Adam comes out of his room. It's all quiet, and he goes over to the anchor area. And he's all alone. That's even more quiet. So we just know he's about to fuck something up.
This is really bad when they stop playing any kind of music on Below Deck at all. Like we're not even getting the boom.
Yeah, nothing. So he just goes over to the anchor. The boat is going full steam ahead. Like this boat is like ready to circumnavigate the globe. It's going so fast. And Adam just lets the anchor go. He's like, okay.
He just undoes the anchor.
He just
Look, what the
undoes it.
fuck? Yeah.
What? And the anchor
What
just starts
was
going
that?
down. I don't know.
And the captain's like, stop. And he goes, yeah, I tried to engage the anchor and it slipped down and now it's just going down. Like, what was he supposed to do to the anchor again?
I don't know, but I feel like he shouldn't be touching it if they're like, it's not even remotely close to, they're like, I think it was like get into position to start the anchor, but don't touch the anchor, right?
Oh my God. I don't know, but they called him for anchor. So I was like, what are they calling him for the anchor? Because I wasn't really paying that close attention. I was just like, what's going to happen? But the fact that he just walks over when they're going full speed ahead and just drops the anchor. And then the captain's like, no, stop. And he goes, yeah, I tried to engage it. I'm like, what are you talking about? You literally just walked over and caused mayhem. It looked like he did. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It was a Topo Chico hiccup. It looks like he totally just did that on purpose, right?
Yeah, it looked like he just was not paying attention. So, you know, and Joao has become really good at the cliffhanger monologue. You know, he's like, we've got a moving boat. We're not even in Zimbabwe. We've got an anchor that's free spooling. And if you do not stop the anchor, it's like releasing tons. And it just gains momentum. And you cannot stop it. And is the boat going to be pulled to the side? Are we going to lose the anchor? Are we going to sail off to Zimbabwe? That anchor chain can whip up and take your fucking head. That anchor could come flying out of the ocean, chop off all your heads, and then turn into a monster and fly off into hell and destroy the entire earth. What will happen next?
Dun, 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 to be continued. So that brings us to the end of Below Deck Down Under.
Wow, that's a lot. I don't know. Adam he's a disaster. He's a real disaster. I think he needs to go back to Brooklyn.
He can't stay on the show, right?
He's fucked up so much, and I feel like he has
this
not even
this
gotten
has
it
to
yet.
be, this has to be the end for Adam. I don't see how he's going to be able to make it through this one, but who knows?
Yeah, that's bad. But anyway, this is at the very least, it's the end for us. We're at the end of the road, Boys to Men style. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back with Real Houses of Orange County, and we also have our Crappy Lake finale to discuss, and we also have our Southern Charm trailer to analyze on Patreon. So join us for those, and until then, thanks for being here. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors.
Know Your Worth with Jason Kurth.
Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary. It's the Green Fairy.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
She's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Shannon.
Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino.
There ain't no problem that Sarah Salvia can't solve ya.
Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors, the incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva. Erica, 500 Days of Summers.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
We want to hang with Liz Lang.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.